All right, here goes a share. So, I am now 8 days into conscious eating, and it has been quite an insightful journey. Last week, I spent the majority of my week feeling just exhausted with no energy, awaiting the headache that came with the sugar detox. It hasn't quite hit me yet. But some of the insight that I got has been really great. I've felt the desire, the want, the initiative to connect with my kids. I still have moments of trigger where I've been able to recognize that's where I go to the glass of wine or the cookie or any food to disconnect from that trigger, whether it's them expressing their feelings and emotions that I don't want to be in a relationship with, or them in conflict. I have two boys and they like to fight a lot, and it triggers the shit out of me every single time. So I really got clear that those were the times that I went to food, that I was disconnecting from them and their emotion, and looking into food to do that. It's been interesting to watch now that I'm conscious of that and not doing that, how I still want to run. So I'm working on that one still. Other insight that I've gotten is that I've become aware of this inappropriately hostile bitch inside of me, that I have been covering up and stuffing as long as I can remember. This part of me that is anger, that I'm not comfortable with. I'm not comfortable with showing. I'm not comfortable with being in relationship with, expressing, and it's a part of me. I've become aware of her, and I've also recognized that when she pops up, that's when I go to food. When she pops up at work, I get triggered at work, I get frustrated and angry. I storm to the kitchen to get gummies or crackers or candy of some sort instead of moving through that emotion or moving through that experience. I want to stuff it down so that I don't act like an outright bitch or confrontational at work and people look at me and judge me, or make a comment about it. I want to avoid any change in what people see as my baseline. So I've become aware of this inappropriately hostile bitch inside of me, as well as the relationship that I have to food with her, and that I stuff her down and avoid her and try not to be her. And last week at work, it was cool to see how that part of me popped up, and I just let it be. I didn't try to put it away. I didn't try to stuff it with food. I acknowledged it when I was pissed off. I acknowledged that I was pissed off. And people were aware. I had a change in affect that people commented about. Move out of her way. She's a woman on a mission. Which, initially I would have perceived as a judgmental comment or taken it personally. Being a female in the workplace, being a female leader in the workplace, I would have judged myself for it. And it just was. I worked my way through frustrations, confrontation. It was easier to be confrontational. I was more willing to be confrontational. I saw the power of not hiding in foods when emotions came up. That was pretty insightful for me last week to see how much I hid and avoided emotions and how I did it with food. I looked to food to cover that up. This has been a really neat experience being a part of conscious eating. I'm learning about the different foods that I'm putting into my body is phenomenal. The visualizations paired with the toxins that sugars or gluten or whatever creates in the body really creates a deterrent from wanting to eat it. I look at it as slowly dying and don't want to put that into my body. I can see that I'm loving myself by choosing to eat good foods, by consistently choosing to be in integrity with my agreement to eat the foods approved through the first 15 days and to be on a healthier diet. And out of loving myself, I have a greater capacity to love others, to love my kids, to want to spend time with them, to love my boyfriend and to want to genuinely connect with him, to genuinely want to connect with him, and to do that. It's been powerful, the strong connection, the drawing of connection that I've had towards the people in my life that I care about the most, even all the way down to that childlike desire to connect to my parents and to my brother. I feel homesick. I live very far from my family, and I'm desperately feeling the want to connect with them, to be around them like a little girl would. And I can see how that inappropriately hostile, angry part of me comes from childhood. Somewhere in my young childhood, I imagine between, 3 and 10, some experience created that and created shame around expressing emotion, expressing anger. And so when I go to that place, I revert back to a young age where it's immature. The way that I express that emotion is immature. So I feel like I'm going back to that young age of the desire of a young child to just want her family, want to connect with her parents. It's been a neat journey. I'm still waiting for my sugar detox headache. And the last time I detoxed, it was right around this day, so I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for some energy. Starting to feel better, though. I had more energy today. It's a great journey, and I can't wait to see what else it's going to bring.